Arsenal has just received a major boost to sign the £86 million striker, and Fabrizio Romano brings the latest updates on speculations of a new goalkeeper arriving at the Emirates Stadium. Stay with me until the end of the video to understand everything that's happening behind the scenes at the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. Arsenal will bid to sign a new striker in the summer, and one of Mikel Arteta's targets, who has rejected a transfer to Chelsea, has now been praised for having everything. The Gunners are eager to improve their attack after an underwhelming campaign from their recognized centre-forwards. Gabriel, Jesus and Nketiah have both struggled for form in front of a net this season. Arteta has also often been without Jesus due to his injury woes. Jesus has started in just 17 of his 26 Premier League appearances over a possible 29 games in which the 27-year-old boasts 4 goals and 5 assists. Nketiah has also only started 10 of his 27 top-flight outings from a possible 37 fixtures, having made each of their teams yet. Arsenal are targeting a transfer for Sporting Lisbon striker Viktor Gyokeres. Arteta has rarely relied on Nketiah even when Jesus has been absent, having also not scored since hitting 5 goals for the term in October. Jesus has sat out spells after 2 recurrences of the knee injury he initially sustained at the 2022 Qatar World Cup plus a hamstring injury. So, Arsenal have identified potential striker targets for the summer transfer window and see Sporting Lisbon star Viktor Gyokeres as a top option, per Football Transfers. The 25-year-old even sees the Gunners as his first-choice destination after turning down a switch to Chelsea. Gyokeres is among Arsenal's top striker targets after scoring 41 and assisting 15 goals in his first season at Sporting. Now, the Leo's centre-half Luis Neto has sung the striker's praises for everything he has shown since joining the Liga Portugal Giants from Coventry City in July. Neto particularly notes Gyokeres' cameo in Sporting's 8-0 win over Dumaiense in the Taça de Portugal is an ideal example to describe the striker. The Leos were already 4-0 up when he entered the action, yet Gyokeres still registered a goal and 2 assists during his 28 minutes. Viktor found himself in a place where he had a huge impact on the fans and he knows how to deal with it very well, Neto said, via quotes by Wojciech. He is the differentiating element. Gyokeres has a physical prowess that there are not many words to explain, he has a huge sprint rate, and he is a player to challenge defenses. He has something empathetic towards all the players up front, be it Trincao, Paulinho, and so on. These last two complement each other very well. When we suffered high pressure, we managed to throw a long ball outside at Viktor and the team rose. He's a very hungry player. I remember a cup game in which I even scored. When he came on it was already 4-0, but he didn't play, he played with everything. Sporting needed players who were very hungry to be champions. Arsenal want to negotiate down Sporting Lisbon's asking price. Gyokeres has fired 27 goals in 32 appearances in Liga Portugal for Sporting, plus 9 of his assists. The 25-year-old also scored 5 and assisted 2 goals to get his side into the last 16 of the Europa League, plus 6 goals and 4 assists to get into the Taça de Portugal final. But Football Transfers adds that Arsenal will want to negotiate down Sporting's asking price to pursue Gyokeres' transfer this summer. The Gunners are yet to make any approach, with the Leos demanding €80 million, £69 million, of his €100 million, £86 million, release clause as an upfront sum. Arsenal are reluctant to offer Sporting the €80 million, £69 million, the Leos are wanting for the initial installment. But the 6'1" centre-forward remains on Arteta's radar, having first considered a swoop for the Swede last summer before he switched the championship for Liga Portugal. Gary Neville says Declan Rice can't do one thing well enough for Arsenal. Manchester United icon Gary Neville has now made a surprising claim about Arsenal midfielder Declan Rice's limitations. Arsenal star Declan Rice has been one of the outstanding players in the Premier League this season. Former Newcastle United manager Alan Pardew recently admitted that he would pick Rice over Manchester City ace Phil Foden as his Player of the Season award winner. The 25-year-old arrived at the Emirates Stadium in the recent summer transfer window, joining from West Ham United. Having developed a reputation as one of the best defensive midfielders in the game in his time in East London, he hit the ground running for the Gunners and hasn't looked back since. Rice came into Mikel Arteta's squad as a proven number 6. He has now shown that he can be far more than that though, and that he is capable of making an impact at both ends of the pitch. Arteta encouraged Rice to take up a more advanced role. The England star has now enjoyed the best season of his career so far in front of goal, as he has racked up 7 goals and 10 assists, across all competitions. In the second half of the campaign especially, Rice has regularly been deployed as a number 8, with either Jorginho or Thomas Partey sitting behind him at the base of the Arsenal midfield trio, in the number 6 role, protecting the back 4. Rice now has his sights set on becoming the best box-to-box midfielder in the world. Gary Neville agrees that this is where his focus ought to be. The pundit picked Rice in his personal Premier League Team of the Season selection. However, he was at pains to point out that he prefers the player in a more attack-minded role. Speaking on Sky Sports, the former fullback stated, "Rice is not that position, 6, that's been established this season, that Partey or Jorginho have had to come in. Rice can't play that position, 6, very well, he's better on the left, as a number 8. That's been established by Mikel Arteta. That position, 6, is a different level of intelligence. I'm not saying Declan Rice is not an intelligent football player, I think he's a sensational player and how he's improved has been unbelievable, but I don't think he can play in that position with real discipline." In all honesty, it is harsh to say that Rice lacks discipline when playing in a more defensive role. He has shown on numerous occasions throughout his career, be it when representing Arsenal, West Ham, or England, that he can operate brilliantly as a defensive midfielder, focused on breaking up opposition attacks. However, it is true that he seems to have taken his game to another level since being unleashed further up the pitch. Unshackled from those defensive responsibilities to some extent, he can now express himself more and play with greater freedom. The challenge now facing Arteta revolves around how to rebuild the Arsenal midfield unit around Rice, as both Partey and Jorginho are in the twilight years of their careers. Fabrizio Romano has cleared up Wojciech Szczesny's situation at Juventus amid recent links to Arsenal. The Polish international has been rumored with a return to North London, with Arsenal on the hunt for a homegrown goalkeeper to replace Aaron Ramsdale, who is reportedly expected to leave the Gunners this summer. With Szczesny, a homegrown player, having come through at Arsenal and still one of the best goalkeepers in the world, the 34-year-old ticks a lot of boxes for what Mikel Arteta is looking for in a replacement for Ramsdale and competition for David Raya. Yet Romano has thrown a potential spanner in the works over a deal happening for Arsenal. Szczesny yet to clarify if he's staying at Juventus despite Arsenal link. Speaking to Caught Offside, the Italian transfer guru revealed that Szczesny is yet to address his situation with Juventus, who could end up staying with the Serie A giants depending on what happens in the summer market. Juventus are believed to be interested in signing a new goalkeeper to replace Szczesny in the long term, yet as of now, no decision has been made by the old lady or by the former Arsenal goalkeeper on what will happen. Romano said when asked about if Szczesny could re-sign for Arsenal this summer, with Aaron Ramsdale's future in doubt, Arsenal will also 100% bring in a new backup goalkeeper this summer. One name being mentioned is former Gunners keeper Wojciech Szczesny, but my understanding is that Szczesny has not clarified his situation with Juventus at this stage. Juventus like Monza goalkeeper Di Gregorio, but nothing is decided yet, so also for Szczesny it's all quiet so far. At 34 years old, it makes sense why Juventus are now looking into a long-term option to replace Szczesny between the sticks, who since joining in 2017 has done a fine job given the scale of replacing goalkeeping legend Gianluigi Buffon. Yet based off the information we know, Szczesny departing Juventus seems to be the most likely outcome for the Polish international, and Arsenal need to be there to strike. The veteran shotstopper remains a fan favorite even 7 years after departing Arsenal, and many supporters will welcome Szczesny back at the Emirates Stadium with open arms if a deal was to be made. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.